my name is Destiny and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought that I would talk about some of my most complimented niche perfumes. So these are perfumes that always get me compliments that if I want a compliment that day, I know that these are the perfumes that I'm going to reach for in order to get it. So if you want to see what those are, please keep watching. But before you do, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And please go follow me on my social media handles. I post on TikTok as well as on Instagram. So if you're interested and you want to follow me, I will put them on the screen. You can give me a follow and I will see you guys over there. Okay, so the very first perfume that I have here is actually one that I've had in my collection for a really long time. But the other day I wore it to the mall, and I'm not kidding when I say that everyone kept stopping me saying, "Oh my god, you smell so good. Oh my god, you smell so good." So it had to go into this video. So this is actually a Tom Ford fragrance, and this is actually Soleil Neige. So I know Soleil Blanc is really popular, and I don't really hear people talk about Soleil Neige that much, but this is a bergamot warm. Well, I can't say it's warm. It's citrusy. It's a little cold, a little crisp, and just incredibly creamy. So I think this is supposed to be like you're seeing somewhere on the mountains or something like that, and it's supposed to smell like crisp, clean snow. And I think they did a really good job at this fragrance because it does smell like winter, although it has like a burst of like citrus. It's so incredibly creamy and comforting that it's so good. And I know a lot of Tom Fords don't project or last a long time, but this one, maybe because I've had the bottle for like 3 years now, it's had time to like really sit and like develop over time. But it is so good and creamy, and I think it's like a 10 out of 10. I'm not a huge Tom Ford girl, but I think this one is completely incredible, and I love bergamot in fragrances, and the bergamot in here is just so incredibly creamy. It's impossible not to like. This is so good. And also there's something that smells a little bit like coconut. I don't know, but it smells really good. It's citrusy. It's almost like I don't think there's milk in here, but if I had to pick just off the top of my head, 3: citrus, creamy, and what smells like coconut. But there's something that's just a little bit chilly, a little bit cold, but this is really good. And surprisingly, it performs, and the sillage is amazing because I kept getting compliments in the mall wearing this scent, and it lasts such a long time. I've had clothes that like 2-3 days later, I can still smell it on like my sweaters and things like that. So to me, this is a 10 out of 10. It smells so good. To me, this is like one of my favorite Tom Fords. Again, I'm not a Tom Ford girl, but this is so good. You have to check this one out. The next perfume that I have here is a pretty popular one. This is from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is actually Gentle Fluidity Gold. So this is a vanilla. This is a vanilla fragrance, but it's not a vanilla fragrance to me that's done in a overly sweet way. It's a lot more complex. There's a little bit of sweetness in there. It also smells just a tad bit spicy. And I know there's a note of juniper berry in there, which I feel like is a pretty prominent note in here because I've smelled other perfumes with juniper berry in it, and I've always noticed it in the background. So to me, this is good, but it's not your everyday regular vanilla. This is, to me, is more like a green vanilla. So instead of it leaning like really sweet and warm, it's more like a little bit more like earthy, a little bit more complex. And it's just blended so incredibly well. And this is another one that I know if I want to get a compliment that I'm definitely going to wear. I know some people do not like this fragrance or feel like it's a bit like, it's even maybe like a bit too much, which in a sense I can understand because it's hard to pick up on one particular note that you're smelling. I just know that juniper berry really kind of hits you when you first spray it, and you might not like that. So this is one I would, of course, test out and get like a little sample of before buying a huge bottle, because it might not be something that you like. But in terms of compliment getter, I always get a compliment when I wear this. I've had people ask me what I'm wearing and like write it down for them. So to me, it's a great vanilla, and I'm not a huge sweet gourmand vanilla girl, so I think that's why I like this one a lot better, because it gives me a little bit of vanilla, but not one that's like nauseating. So that's Gentle Fluidity Gold by Mason Francis Kurkdjian. So the next one I have here is really popular, and this is by Kilian. This is my only Kilian fragrance, and this is Angel Share. So I'm sure you've all heard this before, but this smells like a warm cinnamon apple pie to me, with a side of like vanilla ice cream and chilled cold whiskey or bourbon or rum. One of those like brown alcohols. That's what it smells like. And I think to me, because it has, I believe it's actually cognac in here. Because it has cognac in it, I feel like it gives it that edge so it doesn't get nauseatingly sweet. Because the cinnamon in here is very prominent, and I feel like so is the apple. But it's because it's a gourmand fragrance and it has that rum note. I think I've said this before. When it comes to alcohol and gourmands, those are my favorite kind of gourmands, because I feel like it stops it from going just overly sweet and becoming nauseous. So I feel like you kind of get the best of both worlds, especially if you're not a gourmand person like honestly I am. I need my gourmands to have like an edge, a kick, a little bit of like a cool factor going on, and not just it be just overly sweet. Like there needs to be something else happening for me to really, really enjoy and like and wear a gourmand, which is sometimes a little bit hard. But if you guys know any gourmands that are like that are gourmand but gourmand-ish, let me know. I'm not opposed to gourmands. It's just some of them are just nauseating, and like, I get it, you're supposed to smell edible, but I don't want to smell like just straight up food. So with Angel Share, I really like it. I love that cognac note in it. It's so good. It projects, it lasts. I always get a compliment. It's, to me, a 10 out of 10. Again, this is my only Kilian. Kilian is a little bit of a hard brand for me to really get into. I feel like everything's super incredibly sweet, but I find the whiskey bottle, not the whiskey bottles, like ones that come in the bottle that Angel Share comes in. I think I like those. Apple Brandy and Rose on Ice. Those are also two that I'm really interested in from that particular line. But again, Angel Share, if you like gourmand, if you like something with a little bit of spice, a little bit of cinnamon, and that rum quality, like I just said, you're really going to like this fragrance. So definitely check it out. Get a sample because it is expensive. Make sure it's something that you enjoy and that you like before purchasing a full bottle. Okay, so the next perfume that I have here is one that I carried around in my bag all last summer. And I mean, like, when it comes to citrus notes, like citrus fragrances, it's one of my favorites. I know sometimes for some people it can get like a little bit cleany, like a little bit like, pie and Soleil, like that kind of vibe. I love citruses. I love that like zesty, sour, juicy, like realistic citruses. This perfume I kept in my bag the entire summer, like for a whole month, and every single time I wore this, everyone was like, "You smell so good. You smell like," it literally shocked me because I don't really always get that kind of responses to my citrus, but I did with this one. This is Labo's Bergamote. I believe it's Bergamote 22. Yeah, Bergamote 22. And I just said it before, I love the note of bergamot. It's like lemony, lime, citrus, that kind of note. I love that note in fragrances. It's so good. But this is like citrus, a little warm, clean, and a little sweet. Just a titch sweet, just a little bit. But I was shocked at how this projected, because citrus, again, is not, when I buy citruses, I don't go in thinking I'm gonna get tons of sillage or great longevity, because it's the citrus. In reality, they're not that strong. But I personally don't mind because I love citruses in my fragrance. That's like my favorite, fragrance family, I should say. So in that sense, I always know that I'm not going to get a huge longevity or might not get a huge projection, but I buy it because I love it. And that's just a personal preference for me. But for whatever reason, this particular one, and I've had this little, it's like a very little bottle that you can get around Christmas time from a Labo, and they have like their popular scents in like a 5 ml little spray. So I've actually had that for maybe a year and a half now. So it's actually just been sitting in my collection. And I don't know if maybe that is also why it's had time to like sit and just get a little bit stronger over time. I don't know if that's a factor in it because I haven't smelt it like fresh out the bottle in a really long time. But that could be why also as time went by, it got better, it got stronger, it was able to project more. But that one to me is, again, like another 10 out of 10. And I've gotten tons of compliments, like I just told you guys. And I think it's a citrus that I'm absolutely going to invest in because I love bergamot. I love bergamot. And in the summertime, I don't really wear anything sweet. I'm usually a citrus, like anything citrus, anything sour, anything that like pretty much, or like a dry, dewy, fresh rose. Those are my fragrances for the summer because I get nauseous so easily, even in the winter with my super sweet fragrances. But if you love citrus like I do and you want one that lasts a long time and you're going to actually get compliments, I would definitely check this one out. Definitely start with a sample first to see if you like it. Because again, I know citrus is kind of a little bit of a hard note sometimes for people to like or enjoy. It smells like a cleaning product, a lot of people say. But if you are a citrus lover, get a sample and try this. I think you're really going to love it. Okay, and last but not least, this is Xerjoff fragrance. This is Overture. Now, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this, and I think honestly it is one of the best Xerjoffs that I have in my collection. And I wish that I could explain to you guys what it is that I'm smelling, but I'm going to try. But it's so incredibly well blended that it's a little bit hard to pick up on just one particular note. From what I can remember, there is honey in there, but it's very far in the background. So you can smell something a little bit sweet, which I'm going to assume is the honey, but it's not enough where like how you have Scandal, that's just like headache inducing. It is nothing like that. So if you're worried about, the note of honey or you may not like it, do not worry because it doesn't smell anything like that. It's just very far in the background just to give it a little bit of sweetness. I also feel like I think there's pineapple or some type of fruit in there that I can also smell. And as I also remember that there is incense in here. So overall, you're getting something fruity, something woody, something a little bit incensey. And it's so hard to describe what you're smelling, but it smells like an absolute dream. It is so incredibly good. It lasts forever. It projects forever. This is a Xerjoff that I love. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly fruity. They did a really great job with this fragrance. And again, I always get compliments when I wear this. I love this. I actually blind bought this just based on the notes because I almost knew that it was something I was going to like. And I was completely right. I smelled it and I was like, yep. Like if there was a bigger bottle, I would have bought a bigger bottle. But this is so good. You have to try this. Get a sample. Like even if you don't like fruits and fragrances, just trust me on this. Get like a 1 ml sample from like Scent Split. Of course, I always have them linked down below. I don't get any commission, but it's just kind of like a buying guide. So if there's a fragrance I'm talking about in this, on my videos, and you really want to try it, and of course you don't want to blind buy it, which I don't recommend, and you guys just want to try what I'm saying and stuff like that, they're always linked down below, so you could buy like a little sample and test it for yourself before committing to a full bottle. So any one of the websites that I have down below, again, I don't make any commission, it's just a buying guide to like help you guys out and stuff like that, so no one's buying full bottles of something that they may not actually like. But this one, I would suggest getting like a 1 ml, 2 ml bottle because this is really beautiful and it's so good and it's so creamy, a little woodsy. Oh, this is just so incredible. And I feel like everyone should at least try it at least once. And so you can understand what I'm talking about when I say that it's really a beautifully blended fragrance. And they did a great job on this fragrance. Okay, so those are all of my most complimented niche fragrances that I had to show you guys. I do, of course, other niche fragrances, but most of the time I'm at home, so these are the ones that I know off the top of my head that I've worn out and gotten compliments. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Of course, I'm going to say like an honorable mention, which is Delina. I have Delina exclusive. That one I feel like is a huge compliment getter. I like Delina exclusive because the rhubarb note isn't as strong in that one as it is in the original, but that one is another great one as well. If you were wondering, I just didn't include it because I feel like Delina, you know, I feel like everyone knows Selena's going to get you a compliment, but yeah, that's an honorable mention, and I'm going to say that one as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this video. Please let me know what your most complimented niche fragrances are, or niche fragrances that you bought that you think are actually worth the money, or that you love wearing, whether you get a compliment or not, because that doesn't matter. But I will see you guys in my next one, and please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!